Tonight I'm making peas and prosciutto. It's a little bit of a twist on a vegetable. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. I'm going to flip this around so y'all can see what I'm doing in the kitchen. There we go. Alright, so I have a saute pan on the stove, and I'm going to turn this on to medium heat. And I'm going to grab a little bit of olive oil that I'm going to drizzle on the pan. That's good. All right. Just a little bit of olive oil there. All right, and I'm going to grab a spoon. Okay. Hey, Al. Hey, Aaron. Okay, so I'm going to add 4 ounces of chopped prosciutto to the pan. I got this already chopped at the grocery store, so really easy, no prep work here. The peas and pancetta is kind of like an old world classic Italian side dish. And I'm using prosciutto instead of the pancetta because A, they were the same price at Publix to get either one of them diced for, so it was kind of like either one. But the prosciutto is about half the calories and a third of the fat of pancetta, so that makes this a little bit healthier. But if you prefer using the pancetta, that works great too and would also add a lot of good flavor. So I have this on medium, and I'm going to saute this until it gets nice and crisp and browned, about 5 minutes before we add our peas. Now, sometimes James will eat green peas, and sometimes he won't. It kind of depends on his mood, and sometimes it depends on how we prepare it too. But one thing that we try to do is keep reintroducing vegetables. So if he doesn't eat it one night, well, fine. Then we'll introduce it later in the week another night. So if that doesn't seem to be a hit, then we might try reintroducing it a different way. So he doesn't always want to eat plain peas like he used to, but he loves peas when I mix them in with pasta dishes, especially sometimes I'll make him like a dairy-free Alfredo pasta and put peas and carrots in it, and he really likes that. So he also really likes prosciutto. He's really a carnivore and likes a lot of different kinds of meat in general, so I'm hoping that by cooking the peas with the prosciutto and adding a little bit of extra savory, meaty flavor to it, that he'll gobble these up. So it never hurts to try new things with your kids, and this will give a little bit of a twist on a vegetable for Dan and myself as well. Oh yeah, that's starting to sound good. All right. Hey, Mandy and Mandy, to both of you. All right. Looking real good. Okay, so I'll let that go just a little bit longer. And one thing that I would try to avoid is overcooking the peas. So that's why I'm doing, instead of adding the peas in right away, I'm cooking the prosciutto first and adding the peas in last so they don't get overcooked. If you'd like, another variation on this dish is that you could slice up some shallots and add this and cook it until it gets really tender with the prosciutto. But I'm not a huge onion fan, and shallots are in the onion family, and unless it's diced up really fine or it's kind of blended in and hidden in a sauce, I'm not really a huge fan. So I don't really want strings of shallot or onion in my veggies. But if that is something that you think is delicious, then go for it. That's just another way to mix it up. Okay, I might let this go another minute or two, but that's looking good. So over here, to go with it, we have our main dish. I did Cornish hen tonight. So this is a really simple meal, whether you're just having a busy weekend or you want a quick weeknight meal. I just defrosted a Cornish hen. I rubbed some olive oil on it, and then I sprinkled salt and pepper and some herbs de Provence over the Cornish hen, and I put a little bit of Pinot Grigio, or really any dry white wine would do, in the bottom to help keep it moist while it was cooking. And I stuck this in the oven for an hour. Didn't have to watch it. I read James a ton of books while this was in the oven. So that's really simple and easy, and it's delicious. So I would say this probably feeds a couple adults and a small child. If your family's bigger than that, then I would make 2 Cornish hens, but you could probably fit 2 in the Dutch oven. I've done that before. like things that you can kind of just stick in the oven and leave. Those are nice. So Erin, that would be a great recipe to try. Not too many ingredients, pretty easy to do. All right. And I actually prefer things that are simple to make because life is so busy. So trying to maximize flavor but make it as simple and quick and easy as possible is kind of what I go for most days. All right, so I think the prosciutto is looking really good. You see it's kind of getting nice and browned. This has probably been going about 4 minutes or so. So I think it's ready to add the peas. And I just have a bag of frozen peas. So it's perfectly fine to use frozen. And it's really hard to find fresh peas this time of year. Peas have a very short season. And this is about 15 ounces. And I'm going to saute this for about another 5 minutes. Some boxes of frozen peas come in 10 ounces. And if you're doing a 10-ounce box of peas, I would use maybe 2.5 or 3 ounces of pancetta or prosciutto. But since I'm using 15 ounces, a little bit of a bigger bag, then I just went ahead and used all 4 ounces, which is the standard size package for prosciutto or pancetta. And then again, I let the grocery store do the work for me too and got it pre-chopped. So that just saved me a little bit of time in prep work today. Just stir that together. So we'll have a bunch of leftovers from this, and that'll be okay. We can eat some for leftovers throughout the week, or I might even put some aside to freeze for other times that we need a quick side dish. All right, that is looking good. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the peas are getting defrosted. You see that nice bright green. They don't have that glaze of frost on them like they did before. But I'm going to let them go a little bit longer. And then over here, I went ahead and chopped up some fresh mint. So I just pulled the mint leaves off of a couple stems, and then I stacked them all together and rolled them, and then just sliced them into little strips. So this is just julienned mint, just little strips of mint is all that julienned is. And I'm going to sprinkle that on the peas and pancetta afterwards. And I'm also going to go ahead and add about 1 teaspoon of freshly ground Himalayan sea salt and about 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper into our peas to season them. You are going to go ahead and get some salt from the prosciutto or pancetta, whichever you use. So you don't have to add a ton of salt, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit extra to flavor those peas. And then the salt and then the pepper as well, just a little bit of pepper. And then when it's done, you can always taste it, see how the seasoning is, and add more depending on your taste preferences. This is looking good. It's almost done. Just a couple more minutes here. I'll add the mint. And then to round off our meal, I'm going to heat up a little bit of leftover mashed potatoes. I am all for using leftovers. It's a great way to put together quick meals and only have to cook 1 or 2 things, and also not to let any food go to waste. So this is some leftover Valentine's mashed potatoes that I made mashed potatoes with creme fraiche and butter from grass-fed cows, and then James has his own mashed potatoes that have dairy-free butter in them. So I use olive oil-based butter for him to make all of his stuff dairy-free. But those were yummy, and I'm definitely looking forward to eating them again. This season, you'll have to let me know how the recipe I sent you turns out if you get a chance to try it. All right, this is looking pretty good. It's been almost 5 minutes. I'm just going to give the peas a little bit of a taste to make sure they're cooked through. Yeah, those are perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. I don't want to overcook the peas. But see that nice pretty green color, just nice bright green. And then we just intersperse with the pancetta too. It would probably be a little bit prettier if I did add the sliced shallots. But like I said, I'm not a huge fan of onions in my vegetables. But I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle the mint on. So that'll give it some nice fresh flavor. It smelled so good when I chopped it up. A little bit more. All right, and that's all set. So basically all I have to do now is slice up our Cornish hen. If you missed that earlier, I just put some herbs on it, salt and pepper, rubbed it with olive oil, put a little white wine in there to glaze for an hour in the oven, super easy. And then I'm gonna reheat our mashed potatoes and dinner will be all set. So hopefully we'll find that this is a way that James will eat his peas, because we're always trying to introduce different ways of preparing vegetables for him so he gets to mix it up and isn't tired of the same old thing. So we're big fans of giving him things multiple times until he learns to like it. Just figuring out the different preparations that fit his little taste buds that are always growing and changing. So I hope y'all enjoyed those recipes. Bon appetit. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.